Good night, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Singles Ministry. And we're here tonight. Tonight is our Valentine's Edition. Valentine's Edition because tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So we are going to we are going to, you know, speak about certain aspects of relationships that deal with that would yeah that would deal with like things that happen on Valentine's Day and stuff. We had some technical difficulties since the last time we had the system shutting down and all that, but we're trying to get everything back together. Our co-host is still not in, but we are gonna try to get her back in as soon as we can. So we're gonna just wait a while to make sure everything is running smoothly. We're just trying to get everything back together. So just a few moments. Okay, so our co-host is in. Our co-host is in, and we want to thank God for what He has been doing and what He is doing. So good night, Sister Erica. Good night.
Good evening, Brother Steve. Good evening, everyone. Good to be back again.
Well, yes, it's good evening. Sorry for saying good night. Good night is when you're going to sleep and you're signing up. But yeah, good evening, everybody. We're back on track. We are, as I said, we had some technical difficulties, but thank God for what He's doing. And uh, tonight, tonight's episode is Valentine's Edition. Now, let's set some ground information here. Um, some ground rules. Valentine Valentine's Day is not biblical. Valentine's Day came about sometime after. If we do our research, we would realize that it was a saint, a priest who did good works, and the day was celebrated because of his good works and yada yada yada. So it is not biblical, but um, we as Christians we accept it because it is an international thing. Everybody society accepted that, and they put it on the calendar. So the church adapted to it. Everybody is in for this Valentine's Day, a day where we celebrate love, not just any love, but erotic love, love between man and woman. In spite the fact that people are saying that the gentleman was a homosexual. Anyways, we're not in for all of that, all of that, all of that. What we're here to discuss tonight are things that that would elevate us as Christians when it comes to um, you know Valentine's Day, what we do, what we don't do, what we say, what we don't say. So let me start by saying that Valentine's Day wasn't really a big deal for me until I'm not going back down memory lane, but I'm just saying it wasn't really big deal for me until about maybe 20 2010, 2011, thereabout, when I was in my and she was all about these things, all about celebration and all these things. So I started paying attention to Valentine's Day, the flowers, the chocolate, the wine, um, and gifts in general. And yeah, it is to me something special, yes, because you take the day out to recognize that person. Out of all of the days, everything is going, all of the hectic hours, and you barely get time to rest and all of these things. And you take that one day to recognize that love that you have for that special someone. That is indeed, something really, really special. So um I am not totally against it, not totally. Um, but just saying that, you know, look at some people, it's just a commercialized, you know, event, a commercialized deal where money is being spent. They make their monies because they're selling flowers, bouquets, they're selling, chocolate, they're selling wine, they're selling this, and people are gonna go out to have dinner at restaurants and these things, and they're gonna buy outfits just for that one day.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. Um, Having some technical difficulties, but we'll be right back after these short messages.
Hello. Yes, we're back. We're back.
Hello, hello.
Yes, we're back. The devil is trying to upset us tonight, but we are praying against every assignment that he has set out for us. We're doing God's work, and he doesn't like that. Anyways, I was saying, even though there is a good message behind Valentine's Day, there's still controversy over, you know, him being gay and all that. But I'm saying we're not here for that. We're here to make things, to talk about the things that we can't do, things we say, we don't say to each other as Christian lovers, if that's fine to say, Christian lovers. So, what are your thoughts on Valentine's Day, sister? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, you were breaking up, sir. Breaking up.
I was asking, what are your thoughts on Valentine's Day?
What are my thoughts on Valentine's Day? Hmm. Honestly, I feel like just like Christmas, just like Easter, I feel like these holidays are pretty much monetized. We get so caught up in I guess, what's the word? I guess camaraderie of it, if I could use that word. Um, but like, don't get so caught up in just making that one day the day where you treat your loved one like they're someone. Valentine's Day, people always use Valentine's Day as the perfect excuse to spoil people with lavish gifts and time and attention when it's just like that's something that you should do, you know, all the
Every
time,
day.
kind of. Yeah, you know? Like, no, don't give me like lavish gifts every single day. I mean, I mean, if you could afford it, that's nice. I mean, hey, like I'm not opposed to it, but you know, um, just show love every day. It shouldn't just take the one day for you to show somebody you love them. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it says on Wikipedia that it is originated as a Christian feast day honoring a martyr named Valentine, and through later folk traditions, it has also become a significant cultural, religious, and commercial celebration of romance and love in many regions of the world. And as I said earlier, it's a day that we choose to show love or to express the love that we have for our significant other, you know, because sometimes we may not have the time throughout the rest of the days to really sit down and do all of that pampering because, you know, we are, we're busy trying to make ends meet, we're busy with the kids, we're busy with all of these things. So that one day is taken to show all of the love, all of, but the commercialization, that is, and the way the world is running now, it's everything is commercialized. But what we're here to talk about tonight is what do we do, especially on Valentine's Day? Now, firstly, I would let's start the day off with breakfast in bed. How does that sound? Okay, you know what? You know what? As a single person, or as a person just being in a relationship, not being married, what do we do? Okay, now it depends on if you made plans with your significant other, whether you guys are gonna take the day off, or whether you're gonna go to work half the day, or you're gonna work full day and then do something afterward. Now, um, married people could start the day off with breakfast in bed. That's something that blows anybody's mind. Having breakfast in bed, some eggs and some Italian sausage, or some bacons with some toasted sliced bread, and you know some fruits, and depends on what your significant other love. Coffee or chocolate, or maybe just a nice drink or something, orange drink or apple or something. So you start the day off, these romantic gestures. You bring breakfast to bed, and you make sure that it is well enjoyed. It was made with so much love, so much, yeah. Now that's something I would do. Now, after breakfast in bed, um, we would shower together, get dressed, and you know, just go maybe take some pictures somewhere, in the daylight, and then have lunch, organize lunch, and we just spend that day being intimate, talking about things that we probably wouldn't have spoken about for the past couple of weeks that the year would have gone through. And we just get closer, that just because of that one day that was given to us, by society. So we would spend that time, connecting, getting to know each other. If I'm not married, if I'm not married, like in the now, what I would do in that instance, I would show up to her house early, and I'd help her with everything that she has to do in the morning, getting ready for work, making sure that I prepare breakfast, making sure that I get everything done. She'd be like, "Okay, babe, why so extra?" But it's Valentine's Day, so I'd be extra. Not that I wouldn't be extra any other day, but I'm taking that opportunity. And of course, she wouldn't have to drive because I'd be driving her. And if she goes to work for the day, then flowers, chocolate, wine. I'd walk in on her, walk in during the day and bring all these things, make her blush. And then, lunchtime, we go for lunch. And as I said, we use that time to connect, you know, just letting you know, hey, today is a day that even if I've said I love you 500 times days before, today I'll say I love you 501. And then we just connect, spend the day, take her back to work. As she's finished working, I'm there. I'm there to pick her up, and we organize ourselves for dinner. And once we would have gone for dinner, you know, we make sure that we keep it clean, you know, take some pictures, all of that, and it's I'm a spontaneous kind of guy, so I can't say exactly what I would do, but you know, I I would make sure that we use that time to connect. No, um, my worst Valentine's Day ever was one night. I was in love with this girl. I don't know if she knew I was in love with her, but I wrote a letter, and so I delivered the letter to her on Valentine's Day, and the evening. I think we had something at church the same evening, and so I said to her, I would like for you to be my girlfriend or whatever the case is, and she said to me, I already have my boyfriend. I was like, wow, that was heart wrenching. That was my worst Valentine's Day ever. I was in high school, and I can remember. I think it was fourth form. Um, what's that grade? Grade 7, 8, 9, 10. Grade 10, and that wrenched me, boy. That wrenched me, and I was like, wow, that was the worst Valentine's Day ever. Sister Erica, do you have a memory of the worst Valentine's Day you had?
I'll be honest with you. Never really had a worse Valentine's Day ever because never really had a Valentine before. Um, so yeah, there's that. Um, I know that's sad, but
That sounds sad. So that's going 20 plus years without a Valentine. Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Wow. That's sad. I'm
Because
sad for you.
here's the thing. I was their Valentine, okay, but
But
they weren't
they
mine
won't.
technically. So let
Oh,
me break this down, right? Let me see if I could phrase this correctly. I would give to them, make sure that they had the best Valentine ever. But then in turn, I got nothing.
wow.
And this giving tree got tired, so she's just been sitting it out. When the good Lord decides to send her mate, then hey, But I'm kind of chilling right now, so yeah, it hurts, but it's life sometimes, and yeah.
I'm saying, like, wow. It's sad when you're the one always reaching out, and there's nobody else reaching back out to you. Um, it's heart wrenching, but you know that's just one aspect of it. Just reaching out, and that is actually the beginning of Valentine's Day, because Saint Valentine, he was reaching out, right? And it's not about receiving, because when we love, as we spoke on a previous episode, love is actually seeing yourself in others, doing to others what you want for yourself. So it's literally you're giving to that person because you would give to yourself. not because you want them to give to you. So, you know, the aspect where we're the ones doing and the others are not reciprocating, then we are not the problem. We don't become the problem in that situation because we have been doing what we we're called to do, give, right? Now, one of my one of my best experiences for Valentine's Day um, was, just taking the day off for myself, not because I had a partner or whatever the case is. I was by myself, and that was my best Valentine's Day. It was 2018, the year after I got divorced, and I was on a mission to start loving myself, start to understand myself, start to understand that, hey, you know what? You weren't prepared for marriage, you got married, you failed, and here you are. What are you going to do? And with all of the counseling that I received and all of the advice and everything, is to understand who I am and what I need to do before I I try to reach out to somebody else. So understanding who I was or who I am, sorry, and looking on the inside, I took myself out. I had some wine, and I had a steak, medium rare, some pasta and stuff, and afterwards I had ice cream, and I took some pictures. And yeah, I enjoyed myself by myself, and I started to understand that, hey, you know what? Loving someone is loving yourself. So you got to initially love yourself, and that is gonna stick. That is gonna stick because we have to love ourselves before we love others. The Bible tells us that, and then in loving ourselves, we put ourselves as basically looking at a mirror when we look at others. So looking at your partner, you would see yourself. And seeing yourself, you do to that person what you would want to do for yourself. And then I learned that, hey, you know what? Hey, good night, good night, good night, everybody listening and everybody in the comment section. You know, um, thank everybody for joining. Um, we're saying that, Valentine's Day is a day of that one day where you acknowledge your significant other, or even acknowledge yourself if you're single and by yourself. If you have a significant other, you take that time out to acknowledge them, to show them that, hey, you know what, you really mean something to me. So, um, I don't know. You said you never really had a Valentine's Day, actually, where you were not even recognized, not even, okay, let's go for dinner, let's go for lunch, let's go for a walk, nothing.
Nope. But a few years ago, this was prior to the pandemic. I said, you know what? If nobody's gonna do it for me, I gotta do it for myself. And I got myself a bouquet of the prettiest flowers. Took myself out to dinner. Got my nails done. Got my hair done. Cause, like you said, it starts with loving yourself first. But I feel like going back to what we said in previous conversations, It starts with, honestly, what you learn at home, you carry abroad. If
Yep.
you weren't taught at home that, hey, you're beautiful, you don't need anybody's approval to, to feel loved, because I love you. I, your mother, or I, your father, love you, then you kind of grow up trying to look for love in all the wrong places, you know? Yeah, let me.
Well, you're so right. You're so right. Love starts at home, and if love is not shown correctly at home, then one goes out looking for love in all of the wrong places. One, our friends would try to tell us what they think love is, and because they're our friends, we would think that, hey, you know what? Let me try it. Let me try it his way. Let me try it her way. And then we get caught up in a moment where we understand something that is not what we're supposed to understand. And this is where the church comes in. This is where we should initially understand that, hey, the church is supposed to be a place where we recognize what is going on. We're supposed to influence society in such a way that just not how it is right now. The society is more influencing the church now. Anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about tonight. We're saying that once we realize that love is lacking in an area, or certain things are lacking as a church, this is where we pick up. We should pick up. This is where we should, you know, use the opportunity to teach rather than just leave things up to, oh, you go to school, you're supposed to learn it at school. But you see, things of the world are being taught at school, things that these are spiritual things, because love is a spiritual. Everything of love is spiritual. The Bible tells us that everyone who loves anyone who loves knows God, because God is love, right? And if we understand that love is of God, then it is the church that needs to make sure that love is being taught in all angles. So you're so correct in saying that love starts at home, and if it doesn't start at home, then the church should pick up somewhere along the line. So, wow, topic is kind of hot tonight. Some church folk are not gonna like hearing that the church is not churching anymore, and that is one sad story. The church is not churching anymore, and in order for us to get to heaven, we got to be churching. We got to be that institution that you know instill God's will in people's lives. Now, how far do you go? Okay, um, let me hear some suggestions in the let me hear some suggestions in the comment section. How far do you go as a single Christian? You have a significant other. How far do you go expressing your love on Valentine's Day? Sister Erica, can we hear you first?
Sorry, it's a little triggering for me. Um, as far as, hold on, excuse me a moment, please.
Sure.
How far do you go to show love on Valentine's Day? I mean, honestly, if someone really loves you, it shouldn't take much. Something as simple as a card, a bouquet of flowers. Okay? Something as simple as, like, hey, let's go see a movie, you know? Or even something like a picnic on the boardwalk. It doesn't take, when it's genuine love, it shouldn't take much. But the effort is appreciated. If it's genuine, it's appreciated. Not this big, flashy show of stuff. You know? Some people think,
True.
oh, I gotta get you the biggest diamond ring or the biggest bouquet from the most expensive florist or something. And it doesn't need to take all of that. It doesn't.
Well, wow. You see, not many persons are as simple as you are. We gotta get that out early. There are not as many persons as simple as you are because you're saying it's as simple as a bouquet of flowers. It's as simple as a card, but there are some who would require more. There are some who would ask for more. Like I remember, I remember once that um, I bought a cake, and it was a surprise. It was supposed to be a surprise. I bought the cake, and said, you just hide it. Took her home, and when the cake was revealed, I got some, as Antiguans would say, some wad. I got some wad in my this and that and all of the others. And I was like, what did I do wrong? And what I realized was that she had gotten a gift from somebody else that included an entire day at a spa to go get massage and all of this and all of that. So my simple cake wasn't enough. And I was like, wow, that broke me because I'm saying a lot of times we put our hearts into the things that we do and it is not being appreciated. And as you say, if the love is genuine, the simple little thing as simple as, hey, let's go for a walk, you know, let's walk through a garden, or let's go down to the boardwalk and just maybe have an ice cream, or whatever the case is, just something simple, so long as the love is genuine. Going spending Valentine's Day is not about the Louis Vuitton and the Victoria's Secret and all of that. It's not about, oh, we have to have a special outfit to go out, and that outfit alone costs like $1,000, and then we got to spend another $1,000 on food to eat, and then we go take pictures, and the amount of pictures that we take, who are a couple of $100 and yada yada yada, and do all sorts of exuberant stuff just because, yeah, it's Valentine's Day, and we spend 2 and 3 times the amount of our monthly rent on one day. Then in a couple of months, make that make sense. The Bible tells us that, it's not about the earthly riches. It's not about the earthly riches. Let's set our affections on things above, and he will grant the desires of our hearts. We make this genuine love something that, yeah, genuine. And then, everything else, everything else will work out smoothly. Some people are just materialistic, and nothing that you do is satisfactory. So, um, I like the way how you put it. We seek love in all of the wrong places when we don't get love at home. When our parents, you see, when our parents don't know, and it is that one saying that I've always said, that one saying, that we don't do the things that we're supposed to do because we're not taught to. And that is one thing that the church needs to step up with. We need to teach. We need to teach people, especially what love is, because that is what the devil is using against us. And the Bible says, the man who loves not knows not God, because God is love. And if we only look at Bible with an open mind, and 1 Corinthians 13, it says, love is patient, love is kind. If we remove the word, not remove, but we replace the word love with the word God, because God is love. He said God is patient, God is kind, God is not boastful, God is not puffed up. God seeks not his own, but you look at yourself, and whatever you want for yourself that's what you give to others. Others is what you will receive back from them. So if you were to go on a date tomorrow night, Sister Erica, if you were to go on a date tomorrow night, what would you what would you expect?
Wow. Um, hmm. And this is why, okay, to the ladies, I'm gonna go to the ladies real quick. This is why it's so important to have an idea what you want in a partner, because somebody that knows you, somebody that understands you, somebody that studies you pretty much will know what you want. For me personally, as far as what if I could go on a date tomorrow, we could even go to something as simple as like the local diner. It doesn't have to be anywhere expensive like a 5-star restaurant. And we just sit, we have a nice dinner or a nice lunch or whatever, and we just enjoy each other. Turn our phones off and just focus on each other.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Say that again.
Turn our phones off and focus on each other.
Wow, amazing. And that's coming from a young lady. Turn your phones off. Wow, I'm appalled. I thought it was only the older generation that would think that way, because woo, You're saying turn your phones off and enjoy each other. That is something that this generation does not know. That's not in the vocabulary. It's not something that is being done. The phone story is a sad issue. Just today I was watching a reel where some guys, they were having, just like one of them was having lunch with his girlfriend, and he reached over for the Pepsi and her phone was right next to the Pepsi. And his hand just be it looked like he was gonna take her phone, but it was the Pepsi he was going for. And as he grabbed the Pepsi, she grabbed her phone. Then another one, as he reached for the pizza, her phone was next to the pizza. She grabbed up her phone. I was like, wow, there really must be something in that phone that she doesn't want him to see. And that is a problem these days because the phones, wow, that's a problem. And you're saying that if you were to go on a date tomorrow night, that you would turn your phone off. Well, you see, that would be an option that I would throw out to, yes, turn our phones off. Because one time I took a young lady out on a date. I think it was just before COVID or just before we had a lockdown, I think. And we were driving and she was in her phone. So I was like, hello, if you're gonna continue to text or whatever it is that you're doing in your phone, then I'm gonna turn around, drop you back off, and I go. Simple. Because it doesn't make sense. If we're going on a date, to me, going on a date means getting to know you. And if we're going on a date and you're in your phone and I'm in my phone or I'm doing whatever else and you're doing whatever else, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So, as you said, if it's genuine love, then it doesn't have to be anything fantastic, anything over and beyond. Just simply spend the time together.
But if I may cut in, Brother Steve, besides that, with the whole, people hiding things on their phones, which really shouldn't be, but again, we live in a generation that's very sneaky. Um, Also, I think social media, man, social media, we get so caught up in, oh, I need to be like the best Instagram couple ever, and like these are couple goals and blah blah blah. And then the next thing you know, like 2 days later, that same couple that was your couple goals breaks up. Like there was a couple that I was following, for example, married, just had like their sixth child, and we
Wow.
thought everything was all good and dandy. Come to find out, the husband was cheating on her the whole time, and the wife knew about it. But because she had this image she wanted to maintain, because she wanted to be a social media influencer, she just let
Mhm.
it all slide, you know? And
Until it couldn't slide anymore.
exactly. Because I'm like, God forbid, like, what if he bought something home to her, you know? What
True.
if that
Some
affected the
treatments.
pregnancy and affected the child, you know? But people don't think. They're so caught up in their phones, in social media, caught up in trying to be popular instead of focusing on the things that matter. Focus
Wow.
on your family, focus on your health, your physical, spiritual, and sexual health. Come on, somebody. Even though
Ha.
we're supposed to be saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled,
we're supposed to be.
Yes, but some of us were not saved all of our lives. We were born into sin.
Mm.
And some of us made this mistake of having sex before marriage. Come on, somebody, let's be honest. Come on.
No,
I'm
church
going a
people
little
don't
too deep.
understand that.
I'm going a little too deep. But then again, we got to stop being holier than thou. Let's talk about it.
Exactly. We got to be open. We got to talk about these things
Cuz how
because
you expect the little saints to be here? Come on.
uh, okay, we got to talk about these things because if it's not being taught at home and it's not being taught at church, it's going to be taught elsewhere,
Thank you.
and elsewhere teaches it the wrong way.
Thank you.
Listen, um, understanding love. We have to literally be able to understand who God is and what God really wants for us and from us so that we can give it, so that we can teach it to the younger folks. And there's some older folks who don't even know what love is either, right? And what we what we have to do is literally have sessions in church where sometimes we do one-on-one or small groups because not everybody want to speak or express themselves in an open forum. So sometimes we have to use wisdom and do small groups or one-on-one. One-on-one could be counseling also. So when we do that, we get to understand individuals also, and we get to understand, a better concept of teaching. Because if we're gonna do open forums all the time, there are some folks who are just not going to open up. And then we are not going to be able to reach everybody or reach as many persons as we can if we just continue to do open forums. You see, the church is getting lazy at doing God's work. Let me not mash some coins here. Wow. Or should I? The church is getting lazy at doing God's work. And so we have Christians who don't have the knowledge that they need to go forward because we're so caught up, especially with the prosperity gospel. We're so caught up in making money. We're so caught up in getting likes and subscribers on various platforms. We're so caught up in keeping up with the trends. We're so caught up in going viral that we neglect the needs of the people. Let me not mash any more cons, but it's sad, and we lost Sister Erica there. But we're gonna close tonight because um, we've been having some technical difficulties, and um, I'm still recovering from food poisoning, and I'm beginning to feel a little. But God is on our side, and I pray that you know as we as we continue to do these podcasts, that it would reach somebody. And as tomorrow is Valentine's Day, I pray that those of us who have significant others would enjoy the day, enjoy the gifts, enjoy everything. And that, remember that God is love. So everything that we do must include God, because tomorrow is a day of showing the love. That means if we replace the word love with God, tomorrow is the day of showing God. So let us remember that God is love, and in everything that we do, we need to represent Him. Good night, everybody.